Doomsday glacier, which could raise sea level by several feet, is holding on by its fingernails, scientists say.
Here's a summary of the article.
The Thwaites Glacier, capable of raising sea level by several feet, is eroding along its underwater base as the planet warms. In a study published Monday in the journal Nature Geoscience, scientists mapped the glacier's historical retreat, hoping to learn from its past what the glacier will likely do in the future. Thwaites is really holding on today by its fingernails, and we should expect to see big changes over small timescales in the future, even from one year to the next, once the glacier retreats beyond a shallow ridge in its bed, Robert Lutter, a marine geophysicist and one of the study's co-authors from the British Antarctic Survey, said in the release. The Thwaites Glacier, located in West Antarctica, is one of the widest on Earth and is larger than the state of Florida. The Thwaites Glacier itself has concerned scientists for decades. Nearly a decade later, they found that, because the glacier is grounded to a seabed, rather than to dry land, warm ocean currents could melt the glacier from underneath, causing it to destabilize from below. Then in 2021, a study showed the Thwaites ice shelf, which helps to stabilize the glacier and hold the ice back from flowing freely into the ocean, could shatter within 5 years.
This post received a score of 12,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Tweet by Robert Lutter, the scientist from the article. Edit, for non-Twitter users.
Putting this here for visibility too, the answer is likely to be affected by what humans do next.
The issue with headlines like this, is that not only are they false, but they've been this way for a long time and have yet to come true. A few years ago people talked about another glacier that was melting that was supposed to rise sea levels by 2% or something, but the tide at the beach on our state hasn't moved more than normal up the beach. It's so stagnant that when I went metal detecting last weekend I found stuff that doesn't exist anymore.
Given that it's almost impossible to overstate how bad climate change will be when we do practically nothing to stop it, I would really love it if climate scientists would stop giving these predictions of what might happen if the entirety of human nature turns against greed for the first time in our evolutionary history, all at once, instead of actually letting us face the truth of what will happen when human nature doesn't suddenly and miraculously change overnight. It's time to start scaring the shit out of people. What's the worst that can happen? Conservatives stop believing scientists and do nothing? Hate to break it to you guys, but that's where we are now. It's insane to be worried about over-exaggeration when every single piece of data points to an absolute fucking cataclysm in the next century.
It's so frustrating. The climate crisis is almost specifically designed to destroy us. It's impactful enough to bring down organized civilization and all the systems that go along with it. And yet slow-moving enough that nobody cares enough to do anything about it. Human nature shows that generally we only react to something once we can see its impact right in front of us. By the time that we actually see the things that climate change is poised to do to us, it will be way too late. Governments banned the propellants and gases that created the problem. Industry found new things to accomplish what was needed. What concerns me now is there is no common call to arms that is banding humans together. The lack of, let's stop killing ourselves, is a bit disconcerting.
The ozone hole was created by CFCs, which were a replaceable component used in a few products. There's a big difference in getting the world to agree on eliminating a CFCs, and getting the world to agree on reducing fossil fuel emissions. Even knowing how CFCs would render the planet uninhabitable, some people just don't give a shit.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.